Peace to all my inner lights out there for tuning in to the Star and You. It's Junus. Please subscribe, like the page and share with others. Hope all y'all doing your best out there. Enjoying that quality time with your loved ones. Enjoying that moment, being happy during these times, getting protected. Today we're gonna talk about someone very special. Who's no longer here with us on Earth, but definitely a spirit's here carrying on. We're gonna talk about Maya Angelou. Peace to you, Queen. We give thanks for your contributions here on Earth. So now, let's get into it. Maya Angelou. She was born April 4th, 1928. This makes an Aries. She's a fire sign. The sign Aries begins on March 21st and ends on April 19th. With Maya Angelou being a fire sign, she's gonna be compatible with other fire signs, which are Leos and Sagittarius. And also with this fire-like quality, she's gonna be compatible with air signs too, which are Libras, Aquarius, and Geminis. And with Libra specifically, they actually have a tight bond together, being at the polar opposites, oppositions. Keep in mind though, Maya Angelou being a fire sign, she's also gonna draw certain water signs too, specifically Scorpios and also Pisces. With the Scorpio-Aries dynamic, one thing they share in common is that they're ruled by the planet Mars, although Scorpios also ruled by Pluto as well, but they share that in common, these two particular signs. The planet Mars, the planet of war. So with this being in mind, Scorpios and Aries, where you can see both of them being very strategic in how they handle the situations. One could do it internally while the other one outwardly. However, though, they're very productive in executing their goals. So there's one thing they share in common with that planet Mars. Also, both of them are very passionate with their word and what they mean. When they say they're gonna do something, they're definitely affirmative about that. One thing that they will clash in is that one could be very possessive, which is Scorpios. And this is something that's gonna have a taste when it comes to Aries, because Aries do like to be free. However though, Scorpios do complement an Aries when it comes to their vision and being guided. Because Aries are cardinal signs go in many directions, but with the god of a Scorpio, it'll help them a lot. Also keep in mind too, with her being a fire sign Aries, she also be close sometimes with certain earth signs, especially with Virgos. Virgos, you gotta realize they're ruled by the planet Mercury, which also rules Geminis, and Geminis and Aries have a tight bond together. So sun signs, hence, you'll see that Virgos and Aries are also close too, with Virgos being ruled by Mercury. So they get sense of humor and charismatic energy and how they present themselves. And also, how Virgos are, they're very productive, they're consistent, that perfection's flow about them. They always like to be accomplished, and at the long run, they tend to be, financially stable. And this is something that Aries would admire about a Virgo and why they have certain things in common. Because, with Maya Angelou being an Aries, she's going to have strong work ethic. When it comes to endurance, it's going to be very solid, just like a Virgo. Though she keeps it low key and keeps it moving. And Mercury ruling Gemini, and Gemini likes to be free. This also goes to Virgos as well. Though they work really hard, they know when to relax and take their time, to keep it chill. And this compliments Aries because they know when to be playful and have a good time. So it's definitely positive, though they both work hard. And also another thing too, where they share in common on a deeper level, if you look at it from an esoteric standpoint with numerology, you'll notice in Western astrology that Virgos are born the 9th month. And peep that number 9. That number 9 in numerology is ruled by Aries. So you see they have that commonality right there, where they both have that wholesome energy, where everybody just likes to gravitate towards them and they're pretty chill for the most part. So this is something that they actually draw and have in common. And this is why you see they have a close bond together, Virgos and Aries, with that 9 frequency. You might have spent a lot of time with the compatibility aspect, but just something to know if you're born as an Aries or even born on April 4th. Especially if you've been born April 4th as well, sharing the same birthday as Maya Angelou. You'll notice that you're drawn to Aquarius too. But we'll get into that later. Maya Angelou being an Aries, one thing that she's gonna have is a lot of heart. She's gonna be very fiery, and she's gonna have a love and sincerity, care for humanity. Aries being the first, known in Eastern astrology, that childlike energy that particular light about them and innocence that people are just naturally drawn to. Despite the fact, they could be very explosive and have like temper tantrums that people don't actually like about them. However though, sometimes it's kind of funny to see them from a distance when they get angry. It's kind of like seeing like a child exploding, and if you don't get caught in that actual emotion, you just find it humorous. Because at the end of the day, these people are very productive, always looking forward. So this is where you're gonna see somebody like Maya Angelou, who's an Aries. And speaking about productivity, which is definitely evident of Maya Angelou, you gotta keep in mind she's a cardinal sign. And one thing I always say about cardinal signs, they're natural born leaders, they're initiators. They're always the first to do it. So this actually complements her, being an Aries and Aries being the first out of the zodiac signs. So I think it goes hand in hand. And there's a quality actually that Aquarius are drawn to by Aries, and why you'll see them together actually, because this individuality aspect of them being the first. So speaking about that actually, you'll notice in Maya Angelou, she's the first African American cable car conductor to step foot on the scenes. But that was short-lived, of her being a cardinal sign. Just a little joke right there. When it comes to cardinal signs like Aries, they don't settle for less, and if they have a chance to advance, they'll definitely take advantage of that. And Maya Angelou being a fire sign, Aries, they're very talented, especially any type of fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius. And of her, being a cable conductor, that couldn't last forever. So she was the author, an actress, songwriter, dancer, civil rights activist. But before we get into that part, when it comes to Maya Angelou and the sign, it really complimented her as an author. Sometimes when it comes to Aries and even Sagittarius, they could be a bit shy. But that's not really the case with Maya Angelou. She definitely has a lot of courage. Her life path is a one, and that one's ruled by the sun. But there may be things she wants to really get off her chest to completely evolve as a human being. So with this being in mind, because she's so busy with her work ethic, completing so many different tasks, she may not have time to express those certain moments and may hold them in. And when she holds them in, this may cause her to explode. But the best way for her to express it is through a book. Expressing her emotions and angers, whatever she may be feeling. Getting that freedom through writing, which Aries loves so dearly, to be free. And also sharing the experience of others. And speaking about her being a cardinal sign, also remember she was also a civil rights activist too. So you see that cardinal-like energy showing that he-like quality and wanting to make a difference for humanity. Kind of like Sagittarius, Aries too have strong optimism, Although when they get upset, they could really explode and like shake down the house. But however though, they're very upbeat and have a lot of cardinal-like energy where they can motivate others to move forward. So this is something very positive, Maya Angelou. She was strongly influenced by Martin Luther King, which prompted to become a civil rights activist. And it's kind of interesting to see that aspect too, because Martin Luther King got assassinated on her birthday, April 4th. So it's just something that she always talks about actually in her later interviews about that. And with King dying on April 4th, it's actually really positive on one aspect, because that 4 and the Aries energy behind it. See that cardinal-like energy and the number 4 being a number of consistency, the number of vision, pushing forward, perseverance. So it's very positive too. King also being a cardinal sign, Capricorn, and you see him passing away on this positive vibration, showing that he kind of succeeded in the vision that he set forward for. And you see people fighting till this day, it being relevant, vision, it's still being present no matter what time it is. So you can see that aspect. And also if you want to like see it on a spiritual level too, like a little deeper, you see Martin Luther King is born on January 15 and passed away on the 4th of April. If you add those two birthdays, the 15th and 4th, it adds up to a 19 vibration. I always talk about the number 19 is a number of harmony, bringing people together, unity. So you can see with this aspect right here, there was a purpose behind it spiritually too, how it all came together. And you see this is something that Martin Luther King fights for, trying to bring people together. Those views change in his later years, but the point was still the same, that unity aspect. And you can see that the 15th vibration combining on the time of his death. With Maya Angelou's birthday being born the 4th of April, it shows that sometimes there's a lack of family bond, and that she suffers a lot in this department and goes through a lot of pain internally, but she wants this closeness, but it's not always given to her. And you know, from young, she experienced a split between her family, between her mother and dad. Afterwards, she was sent with her brother to go live with the grandmother. She stayed there for a while and was actually happy and found some peace there. But however, afterwards, she went back to go live with her mother. And the mother had a boyfriend at the time. And during this time, at the age of 7, she experienced molestation. Shortly after, her mother's boyfriend raped her. She kept quiet about this, but she did tell her older brother. The brother ran and told the family. And later on, it was reported that the person who violated Maya Angelou, he was killed. So because of this, Maya Angelou felt somewhat responsible and kept quiet for 5 years. And it's interesting to see that she kept quiet at the age of 7. You know, number 7, like I said, is a number of isolation, keeping to yourself to understand oneself. And it happened with her having the 4th frequency too. With her being born the 4th in the age of 7, you see that 11 master number, meaning during this time she experienced a lot of growth. This is when she learned more about herself internally. She started reading, discovering who she is and the gifts she had, and what she could become in the future, not yet knowing it. But as an Aries, one thing was definitely for sure, she discovered one of her first passions, which was reading and the power of words. You gotta keep in mind, though she's an Aries, and like I was saying, they could be explosive when they get angry and have some resentment there. But overall though, these people are hardworking, they're very respectful, especially with family members. Even if they don't get along with them, they'll do their best to be there to provide. And that's just how they roll, you know, the individuals, and they tend to mind their own business overall. People like Maya Angelou's and Aries. You know, Maya Angelou being born the 4th, she's gonna have a consistency about her. Very fixed and at times very stubborn too. You know, especially for goal and a passion or whatever she keeps in mind. You know, though very spiritual, she may not always be religious. You know, if her being born the 4th of April, she's gonna be at least attracted to the spiritual realms and know how to trust in the universe and how she moves. You know, especially if her being an Aries as well. You know, Aries ruled the pineal gland. And you know, she had to go through a lot through her history. You know, especially if what happened with her incident in the past as a youth. You know, traumatizing enough at the age of 7 would happen. But also, she also went through a phase of prostitution. But with her being born the 4th, that 4 being ruled by Uranus, she knows how to detach herself. You know, burn those situations over time and evolve. You know, that cardinal energy is gonna do what it has to do to survive. You know, some could probably see this as something degrading, but really it's empowering at the end when you see she evolved and changed her circumstances. But also too, you gotta keep in consideration what happened to her at the age of 7 too. So at one point she could probably feel there's no type of self-worth there, though she still has that confidence and courage, you know. Obviously she had to have the strength because she put herself in situations where her life could have been taken. You know, protecting herself and her daughter, like I was saying before. But you gotta see though, at the end, with her being born the 4th, she's a visionary. She knows exactly what she wants, though she was stuck in certain circumstances for a moment. But as a fire signs know how to burn old circumstances and create new ones and move forward. At the end, they don't like ugly, and you know, they have a very playful, loving energy about them, which loves freedom. And you know, speaking about freedom, one sign that always comes to mind is Geminis. And when it comes to Geminis, in numerology, they're ruled by the number 5. And number 5 rules in communication, just like Gemini. So it's interesting to see that Maya Angelou took it upon herself to not communicate for 5 years. But during this time of her being born on the 4, she found her inner self. Though still feeling trapped, the caged bird flapped her wings and sung once again.